Returning now to Indonesia, and evacuations are underway on the Gili Islands near the northwest coast of Lombok. The Gili Islands are a group of 3 small islands famous for their coral reefs. British tourist Jake Clarkson spoke to me from the island of Gili Trawangan.
We were just chilling out at our hostel, just having a few drinks, and then just the ground started to shake. Only slightly, like you're standing over a point where the subway is. So if you're in a major town, you can feel like the subway going underneath you. And then that lasted like 1 second. I was like, this is strange. I'm on a tropical island. There's no subway here. And then literally within a second of that, the whole place just started to shake ridiculously violently. And then the lights cut out, which made it even more scary. And it was just shaking and shaking, and it probably lasted anything between 10 to 15 seconds, but it felt a lot longer. And then bottles were smashed and people were screaming, and after that finished, it was pitch black and nobody really knew what was going on. People got the torches out on their phone, and fair play to the people who were working at the hostel. They really knew what they were doing. They calmed everybody down. They got everybody out of the hostel and moved us to a big open field on the island where it seemed like everybody had the same idea. So everybody was on this big open field, shouting for people and names calling and people crying. And then a report came in that there was a tsunami warning. People started going up to the top of the hill that's on the island. A few people were panicking and running, but everybody seemed to stay relatively calm. But as we were walking through the streets to get to the hill, you could just see the destruction that had just happened. The mosque on the island had collapsed. There's loads of walls that have just on the floor. It's pretty bad.
At what time of night did that happen for you?
That was around, I'd say around 8 o'clock. I think it was around 8 o'clock.
And you stayed up on the hill all night?
We stayed up on the hill till about midnight, about midnight, and there was at least, from the initial earthquake, there was probably at least 7 or 8 aftershocks. And then an hour or so went by without any aftershocks, and we decided to descend the hill and go back down to the hostel and sleep in the courtyard. We slept in the courtyard until about 4 o'clock in the morning, and getting ravaged by mosquitoes, we decided to go back up to the room. And then at around 4 o'clock, there was 3 aftershocks from then. And then this morning, we walked down to the port to try and catch a ferry or a boat, and about 8:30, there was another aftershock.
Sounds terrifying. And what was it like down on the beach? Were there a lot of people trying to get on boats, trying to get off the island?
Thousands, yeah. Literally, I'd say at least 3/4 of the island were on the beach trying to get off. Half locals, half tourists. There's probably at least a 700-yard stretch of beach which is just filled with people trying to get on a boat, all really not knowing what's going on.
Why are people trying to get off the island? Are they feeling unsafe there?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a feeling of not feeling safe and just wanting to be somewhere that's kind of got better infrastructure.
So what's it like now? Is it still chaotic?
Well, we left. We actually had a ticket to plan to leave the island today. We booked it about 3 days ago, and we got to our tourist office to meet the guy who was going to chauffeur us off the island. He was nowhere to be seen. The tourist office where we booked our ticket was shut, and it just seems like no one really knows what's going on. The mood on the island is still fairly shocked. The bungalows that I'm staying in now, my friend Ryan, who's one of the managers here, he's 32. He's been in a few earthquakes, and this was the strongest one that he's ever experienced. So even the locals are pretty shook up. So,
what are your plans, Jake? How hard is it to get off the island at the moment?
It's proven very difficult because there's thousands of other people wanting to do the same thing. We were trying to get boats this morning, but it seems like a lot of the locals of the island are taking priority, because a lot of people who work in the Gili Islands actually live and have family in the neighbouring island of Lombok, where the epicenter of the earthquake hit. So they're rushing back, trying to get back to their families. There's been pandemonium, seeing people trying to get on the boats. I saw a couple of fights, and it got a little bit messy in some places, but I haven't actually seen any tourists leave as of yet. We're just playing the waiting game and just trying to wait until things calm down. I've spoken to my friend Ryan here. He said the government are going to be looking at getting boats directly from the Gili Islands back to Bali, because the usual route would be from the Gili Islands to Lombok, and then a taxi ride to the port, another port, and then a boat over to Bali. But from what I've heard, Lombok has taken a significant amount of damage, so there's not much that people can do in Lombok.
And that was British tourist Jake Clarkson on the island of Gili Trawangan.